This video is part of a series that looks at Safari on the iPad, and this video is going to look at navigating your iPad. So looking at tabs and how to add them and close them and open them in new backgrounds, etc. So Safari, let's open it. And there is no page open at the moment. There is nothing there, no page visible. There are that button, the plus button, is how you create a new tab. So if I tapped that, I'd be able to put in a new tab. So if I put in a new site and tap that, it's going to open a page in Safari in a tab. Now the active tab is the one that's sort of greyed out. So you can sort of see it's greyed out, and this one is not greyed out, but that's another tab. So if I tapped on that, I could open another page in Safari. So I just open football. So any other tab that you want to open, you can enter in a new URL up at the top here and enter a new tab. So to switch between them, you simply tap on each of the tabs. So I'm now tapping on 9MSN1, and that tab becomes active. Tap back on the AFL Dream Team, that tab now becomes active. To close a tab, you simply tap the cross. Now, if you don't do that and you keep adding tabs, tab after tab, eventually you're going to have no more room and you're going to have to close some. But to close a tab, I simply tap the cross and that one is now gone. Now this here, you may not have that on your iPad. This that goes across the top here is the Bookmarks bar. And these are websites that I've saved into Bookmarks that are visible all the time. So they may be sites that are ones that you go to all the time. So if I went up to here and tapped this 10 Fun to Academic one that you can barely see there, that is going to open that page in the current active tab and replace what was there in the first place. So there was the 9MSN site that's now been replaced by a different site. And if you look at the my video on bookmarks in Safari, then it will show you how to activate the bookmarks bar and add sites to it. Here's another one here, just picking 7 Great. This one here, 7 Great something. Can't read it all because it's all squashed, but let's tap it anyway, and that will replace whatever is in the active tab. Now, sometimes you don't want to do that. You might want to open a new tab with a link. And using the bookmarks bar, if you wanted to do that, then you would have to switch to a new tab first. So if I go to the plus, create a new tab, now go up to my bookmarks bar and pick a different site. So let's just tap this one, load this page, and tap that on the bookmarks bar. It will open that site in a new tab where it still keeps this site open as well. So switching between the tabs, you can get to the different pages. If you're on an active page and you tap a link or you put in a new site up the top here by actually typing one in yourself, so tapping up here and typing in a new page, whatever is there, I'll just put one in now. Let's go to the home page of my website. That is going to replace what is in the active page. Now, if the bookmark bar is annoying you and you don't want it to be visible, you can turn it off by going out, back to the home screen, into settings, and scroll down to come to Safari. Always show bookmarks bar. If I turn that off, the bookmarks bar will disappear. So I can go back into Safari, and now the bookmarks bar is gone, and it might be easier to look at that way. Now to navigate within your sites, let's just go back and pick a different site here and put in an MSN. So navigating between pages, so if you're staying within the one tab, if you want to go back a page or forward a page, you do that with these arrows up here, the navigation arrows. Back back arrow, forward arrow. Now, sometimes you're going to find that some of these arrows are grayed out. So in this case, we can't go forward because I've just typed in this URL for this web page. I can't go. I can go back. If I tap the back button, it will go back to the previous web page that I had open. And now I can go forward. And if I keep going back, it's just going to keep taking me back through my web travels. And if I want to go back the other way, the forward button will take me back one page at a time forward to where I was. Now, if you're on a website like this news site and you wanted to open a new link, and this is the day after Kevin Rudd became the Labor leader again. So if I wanted to open an article on him, I could just tap one of those links and it will replace what is currently the 9 News site with that story. And I'm just replacing it. But if I didn't want to do that, if I wanted to open that page, let's go back. If I wanted to open that story in a new tab, so I didn't lose the main news page, as I hold that down, I get the option to open that story in a new tab. If I just tapped open, it would open the story in the current active tab, which I don't want to do because I might want to keep looking at more links. So I'm going to open it in a new tab, and here it is up here. There's the news story, so I can tap on the page up there to see that story. And you'll notice because it's a new link, opened it in a new tab, therefore this story has no previous navigation. I can't go back, and you notice up here they're both grayed out. I can't go back because there's nothing to go back to. It's a new link that I've just opened. I can't go forward because there's nothing to go forward to. If on this page I now start tapping links on this page, and that one, and it's going to open it and replace that story, and now I can go back because that button is now active. So tapping the back button will get me back to that original story. I can go forward, and that will take me back to the link I just opened. Going back will take me back to that link, but I'm not going to be able to get back to the main news site because the main news site, this one, is over here in a different tab, so I'd have to tap that tab. Now, the reason for tabbed browsing is just to make it a bit easier to go back and forward. It can get quite annoying if you've got about 5 pages back. You've got to keep tapping this button 5 times to get back to that page. It's easier to put it into a new tab. And the setting that does that to allow you to open tabs in the background, so to speak, is in the settings. Open new tabs in background. It's on by default, and it just allows whenever you open a new page, it will open that page in a new tab or replace it in the current page while you keep browsing. No need to turn that one off. Now back to Safari. Now, if you wanted to know which tabs you'd recently closed or you'd accidentally closed one and you didn't mean to, you can hold down the plus sign. The plus gives you a new tab, but it will also show you, tap it once, it will give you a new tab. Hold it down, and it shows you the recently closed tabs. So if I was to close this one by tapping the cross and then go to the plus, that will appear in the recently closed tab. So if I'd made a mistake, I could go back and open it again. Now, if the page you want is not in the recently closed tabs, then you can go and look in your history, and you find history through the bookmark, and you have to find the history because there's quite a few options in this bookmark button. It's showing the bookmarks at the top there, so at the moment we're in bookmarks and bookmarks bar, and that's displayed by having that button active. If I tap the middle button, I actually look at my history, and I can see all of the sites that I've recently visited in this session, if you like. So all of these ones are the active tabs that are open at the moment. If I tap earlier today, I can see any of the pages that I'd had open, and I could go back and open another one. So if I wanted to open Boy Joins Mensa, it would open that tab. So if you wanted to open a new one, you'd have to hit the new tab. So you've got an untitled one, go back to your history, open it, and it would open in the new tab. It's opening that one now. So the history goes back quite a way. So if I go back to history, this is the 27th of June, which is today, and I've got all these different days that I can go back and revisit. So if I wanted to see where I'd gone on the 26th of June, there are the sites that I've visited, and I can go back and tap one and open it. So I wanted to go to this page. It does replace whatever was on the active tab. So you have to remember, if you don't want to replace what's in your active tab, you've got to hit the plus sign first. Create the blank tab, then go back to your history, pick a new site, and it will open in that page. You can start to see now that there's quite a few tabs here, quite a few multiple pages, and I can switch between them by simply tapping on each one. Basic navigation is the arrows. Back arrow, forward arrow, tabs. Just make sure you close the tabs down if you don't want them anymore. So if I go back to this one, I no longer want that tab. I'm going to tap the cross and delete it. If I want a new tab completely and it doesn't come from any of the existing tabs, so there's no links here that I want to open, but I want to open a brand new site, then I can tap the cross here and open up a new page. And I'll have to type in the address up at the top there. So whichever it might be. So I'll open up a website by tapping in the address bar and typing in myself. So to type in an address, remember you tap in the address bar, brings up the keyboard, and then you can type in an address. If there's something there already, as there is here, I can tap the cross there and that will delete it, and then I can type in a new address, or I can pick something from my bookmarks. So I might want to open Mac tutorials. So I can pick something from there and open the page, or I can actually type it in myself. All right, that's all for this video.